you go. Okay, so one problem I had before, I installed the radiator hose, the upper radiator hose and the lower radiator hose on this eBay radiator, which is pretty nice actually. It fits straight into the truck, like bolts into the factory holes and clips and everything. One of the heater hoses apparently had a crack in it and started leaking, and now you might think that's annoying and I don't have another new hose, but I got another fix for that. Okay, so these things right here, Dorman, whatever part number, I don't know, I can put it down in the description if I find it, but it's literally just a plug rubber end that you can put over like a heater core nipple or radiator nipple or whatever, and then you can just, you know, hose clamp it. So we got one right here on the engine block, which is like a T that goes from the carburetor, heated spacer, whatever, underneath the carburetor, and then we got, of course, the heater core. And there you go. Okay, so I just tried to pour some fluid into the master cylinder, and as you can see, we got a new master cylinder. This thing I changed over here yesterday. Pressure for like 3 pumps, and the pedal actually got like rock solid. And then I heard that, and then fluid all over the left front wheel. So we broke a hose. Luckily, I bought some hoses a while ago, probably a year or so ago, for F250. But I'm pretty sure these actually fit on this truck, which has 4-wheel drums all around. So I'm gonna try to jack it up real quick. Get this front tire off. Hopefully it fits, because if it fits, we can literally, I guess, start this thing up, bleed the radiator, and you know, see if we got a clutch and stuff, and see if the thing actually moves. So that could be pretty cool. Jackie stand. An easiest way to lift them up is just by the wheel. There's like a big nut for the spring purchase. Bam, just lift it right there. And as you can see right here, hose split. So this hose is really old, most likely like an original hose. It's all crusty. The truck is really damn rust free and really nice shape everywhere. Still got all the original rubber aprons and stuff in here in the inner fender. And the thing with a rust free truck like this, look at this brake line, right? You want to break it loose? Bam. That almost seemed like it was loose, but anyway, that's still pretty damn nice. So this truck is actually from like this area in Texas or whatever. It's a Texas farm truck pretty much, and it's rust free, rust solid. Well, what do you know, the brake hoses didn't fit, because apparently on these drums or the wheel cylinder itself, it's a fine thread or whatever, like a fine thread, and the other hoses that I had was a bigger 916 like horse thread or something. Something else I just found out is I have these original Ranger hub rings, trim rings, whatever for it. And it looks like they've already been on these wheels, so I'm gonna put them on again to hide some of those ugly rust spots that I have. Even though I still hate these white wheels, I don't know, it's just not my taste. Why not throw them on? What I'm doing right now is trying to figure out what the hell we got for rear end. So it's a Ford 9-inch, which is nice, you know, 9-inch is a good rear end. But there's this little tag on the third member where you usually can see if it's like a 391 gearing or 410, 411, whatever. But it's Ford coding stuff, so I have no idea what it is. Apparently they use letters to explain numbers, you know what I mean? I don't know what I'm doing right now. I literally got a line wrench stuck on a rubber hose. What an idiot. Removing the rear brake line, because it's just as bad as the front one, so we just can get 2 new front ones and a rear one, so we make sure we got brakes and we are safe.
Yeah.
Ow! I got a hole in my thumb now. I'm bleeding. Okay, AC system. You saw underneath the dash, we removed the whole AC unit, thing, box, whatever, you know. And then out here, we still got some AC hoses, condenser, we got a compressor bracket. We're probably gonna have to move the coil, because it apparently has an AC specific mount bracket. I don't know, maybe we can mount it off the intake again. We'll see about this thing. Here you go. Really? It's a debacle. The bracket for the AC compressor pretty much involves everything. Water pump, generator bracket. We gotta get the freaking fan off. One bracket goes down in here to the intake, got that off already. But ignition coil is stuck on it. Great. Next step, we got this bolt for the bracket that I had to remove the heater hose from. This might be the moment where I'm gonna destroy a brand new eBay radiator. because this thing is heavy. Cause she's a country girl, she got a 4-wheel drive. Jump in my bed, I'll take you for a ride.
Yeah.
Up city streets, down country roads. I can take you where you wanna go. So it's another day, and today we're starting off with getting this thing its full eyesight back. It's been missing an eye ever since we got it. I don't know why they took one headlight. At least they kept the hardware in there, and luckily I found a trim ribbon I had laying around, and I also found an old school Swedish Hella headlight that we test fitted. Actually, I haven't tested yet. Let me just check it out real quick if it even works. Crystal, give me a thumbs up if it works, okay? Oh wow! So to put in a headlight on these bump side trucks is really easy because you got 4 long Phillips screws right here, and then pretty much you're gonna remove the whole eyebrow of the truck, if you will, as you can see right here. And that's the reason why we didn't have a headlight. Did you see all the glass pieces falling out? Most likely smashed a headlight at some point. That's probably why. Installing a H4 headlight, the most basic headlight ever made in history. You got your headlight, put the trim ring on, then you got your connector, of course, put that in right there. Then you're gonna line up into the house so you can't twist it. Pretty easy. And then you got these screw holes that only lines up one way, which it does right there. And actually you don't even have to put the screws out. If it was the correct screws, these aren't the correct screws, so we're gonna have to take them out, cut. And before putting anything back in the truck, might as well just like clean it up real quick. This thing had a little bit of dirt stuck to it, so just a quick scrub down right here. And there you go. All of a sudden the sunny weather was gone and we had a rainstorm oncoming, so let's see how much we can get fixed before we're gonna get rained out. One problem, very normal problem, especially on manual steering trucks and cars of this area, 60s, 70s, probably also 80s. You got play in the steering, and it's a lot of play in the steering. It's actually worn into like the middle part of the rack joint right now. You don't know what a rack joint is? On these old cars you have steering wheel, a shaft, and then you have a piece of rubber, and then it goes into like the steering on the wheels or whatever. Kind of a terrible design. I'm not really sure why all American cars got that, but they do. So what I have is a new rack joint that we're gonna throw in there. Usually a quite easy job, but this has the manual transmission, 3 in a 3, so it has shifter linkage on the steering column and stuff, so I'm not sure how much I can slide it back. Maybe also have to take the horn ring off and the steering wheel off and then slide this steering shaft itself out of the column, and then maybe that's gonna be enough. We'll give our best shot. The next step on the agenda is I have right now an old school points ignition system in this thing, and basically off of Rock Auto, I think for like $100 you can get a standard product. I think is the one who makes them, which is a electronic ignition pretty much. You put a Hall sensor inside the original distributor, and then you get a electronic ignition. And also one thing you gotta do, old Ford vehicles, they got a resistor wire that cuts down 12 volts to I don't know, 6-9 volts, whatever, to the coil, which you're of course gonna bypass, and you can just hook straight into the fuse box where there's an ignition 12 volt source, and you're gonna run that wire straight out into the new electronic ignition you're gonna put on. The electronic ignition kit also comes with 2 wires, a ground side that goes straight to the ground side on coil, and then also a plus. And the plus side goes over to the coil, and then from the coil plus side, you go into the fuse box where you got your 12 volt ignition key. Keyed ignition, 12 volt. Yeah, you got it? Okay, let's get right into it. This thing. It's a vinyl record player, according to my girlfriend. Fun fact, do you know what it's actually called? Like a slang? A frying pan.
My idea is better.
Okay, record player it is.
Yes.
Okay, so electronic ignition is installed. We got the 2 wires ran from the hall sensor to the ignition coil, and we got 1 wire from the coil going into the fuse box, as you can see right here. And now it's time to see if it worked. So we're gonna ignition on, see if we got 12 volts on the coil, and then we're also, of course, gonna have to check if we got 12 volts while cranking, because we got the 12 volt bypass coming from the start solenoid. Okay, let me tell you right now. Oh, head is spinning, body is winning. Next step, as we all know, the brakes line were absolutely shot. So keep your old copper washers, because you don't get any new ones. And just reuse them, because they're good. And usually the old ones on the car are thicker than the new ones that you buy in like parts stores and whatnot. So I usually keep the old ones, and it usually seals. Also, if you guys are interested in like getting the proper hoses for a drum brake F250, bam, part number right there, 101. There's more to the part number, but you can just pause the video if you want to. You know what I mean? You can probably read. If you can't read, I don't know why you're watching even. But you probably got a good reason anyway. You think it's a podcast about F100. Anyway, so down here, break time. So we're just gonna throw in the hoses, and then we're gonna bleed them. You like that pose, Crystal? You like that? L shape. Slum body, you're joining me underneath the truck right now inside of the right side wheel well. So what we got go? Brake line. You already know 101 part number right there. And quick tip, fit in this in first, because you can't do the other way around. That's why you got a fitting on the line on the other end that can spin on its own. Because this thing, once you tighten this end, it can't spin on this end. Also, something I've seen is don't talk too much on this hex whatever here, because it's on the far side out on the line or whatever. It has like an extension piece, and they can snap, especially the new Chinese ones, you know what I mean? I mean, look at the name of the company right here. Sounds like a hibachi place, right? I don't know, Korean barbecue joint or something. Gotta dust off the trim rings. There it is. So, next problem we got going on right now is the rear left brake line is not existing. So while we have to take it off, the line twisted and broke, so we're gonna make a new line. It's 2 fittings and I don't know, like 8 inches of line. So it's an easy job, so we're gonna get some copper line and 2 fittings. Actually just the old fittings, because they didn't break or anything. They're in nice shape, so let's do that. Okay, so we got the old line right here, and I got a new steel line actually laying around with the correct fitting on, but it's too long. It has a master cylinder fitting on the other end, but we're just gonna use some of it. So it's something like this right here. I don't know why there's so many bends in the original line, because you don't need it. Brake line, I wanna die. I hate these jobs. I hate doing brake lines, brake stuff, bleeding brakes. I don't know why, it's just nothing enjoyable about doing brakes. I don't know why. It's just not fun. Okay, so if you don't get it, get a brake line cutter. They're like $10 in your local hardware store, maybe 20 nowadays, I don't know. I had this my whole entire mechanic life. Never bought one. And there you go. Ding. Okay, jumping on the GoPro real quick here because the camera died. Got 2 new fittings on, and we're ready to install this thing. And also put a little bit of copper seats on the line and like behind the fittings, which is a new thing that I've been starting to do because it's easy to loosen them if you have to get them off again. And then I guess like in 10 years when I have to maybe repair this stuff again, hopefully it's not seized to the line and you can actually get the thing off again. If not, you can see right here, copper seats right there behind the fitting. Let's give it a shot. Plus it's also a kind of a torque loop, like ARP head bolt loop, whatever, you know what I mean? Like it has something to grind on. I don't know. We'll give it a shot. And there we go, new brake line installed. And there you go. Uphill is hard as a rock, and we finally got brakes in this thing, and the brake line is fixed in the rear. And now it's a matter of getting this thing running, moving. So we got a carburetor rebuild coming up right now, and then we're gonna throw a carburetor and spark plugs at this thing, and then I think we're gonna try to move it on its own power and see if it brakes, somewhat steers. Got new bushings in the front suspension, stuff like that. I mean, it's a running, driving car now. Should be. Quotation marks. Anyway, let's try. Okay, spark plugs. Important thing for an engine to run good. If these things are done so, the engine is also done so. Now, most important thing when you get the new spark plugs is you gotta gap them. So this is a little gapping tool right here, and then you gap the electrode to the porcelain piece. Now, the reason why I'm telling you is to check all spark plugs out of the box is I had probably 2 spark plugs in my last 2 years or whatever where they got smashed during shipping. So I was running on 7. Not a jolly time, not a jolly time. So what we're gonna do right now, gap all 8 to probably 040 because we got the electric ignition now running 12 volts, so we can go for a little bigger gap than 035. I think that is the standard setting. And then we're gonna throw 8 spark plugs in it, and then we're gonna get that new rebuild carburetor on. So another advice doing this is do 1 spark plug at a time. It's easy, you don't gotta rearrange the whole firing order in your engine and get mixed up in all the spark plug wires, so just go 1 at a time. Combination, it's corporation. Rebuild. If you guys got any idea how this looked before, this is brand new compared to what it was before. I took this home in the shower and used probably an entire day of like degrease and all kinds of stuff and scrubbing on it, and got a Walker's carburetor rebuild kit for it, and this is all good to go. The only thing actually was wrong with this thing was probably wrong adjusted idle jets and the what it's called? Accelerator pump was done. So that's fixed, and also stole a few parts of another carburetor that I had from a 67 Mustang 302 carburetor or whatever, which by the way had a 302 in it and had considerably smaller bores or butterflies than this one. Because I was about to take the other one, just throw on here, and I was like, yeah, there you go, new carburetor. And I was like, nah, we need the flow. The CF of the M's, you know? So let's get this bad boy on here. Ah yes, the old debugger. We got 7 spark plugs out, and every one of them were really greasy from the valve covers leaking. And of course, cylinder number one is all dry, all rusted, and it won't budge at all. I got it to move like 2 mils, you know, and I soaked it in oil now, and now we're gonna go to this crazy setup. Adapter, whatever. I might cry in a moment. Hopefully the threads are just missing on the spark plug. Porcelain cracked, and the top 2 threads are gone. Well, here goes nothing. I got a new spark plug, we got some oil on it. First actually looks okay in the hit, but the thing is, maybe we dropped the last 2 threads of the spark plugs into the cylinder. I don't know. Maybe the last 2 threads off the hit is also gone. I don't know. Maybe the engine is gonna absolutely score one of the pistons now and definitely gonna smoke out the right bank. I don't know. But that's the only way I'm ready to find out. I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? Okay, so we have a look at the left bank, 4 spark plugs right here. You can see one from one till the rear one. You can see number 1 right here that busted while we tried to get it out. You can see they're in terrible shape. We are using a lot of oil, or it's getting way too much fuel, or I don't know what's going on here, but it definitely didn't run good. Sounds good and runs really good now. You know, gave it a little bit of Nordic tune-up with the water right there, but she's teaching a little bit, you know what I mean? There's a lot of smoke rolling out here. Hopefully new rings and a little bit of violent driving will help it out a little bit, but now I'm gonna try to move this thing. We're gonna try to see if it can move. It's like a war zone out here, all the smoke. Well, let's try to give the old girl the rip. Yeah, no bench seat, things everywhere. You don't have to worry about it. There you go, sitting on the floor. This is proper project car moment right here. Let's see if I can move the dash away a little bit. Man, she runs so much better right now. It just slowly gets better and better. And we are officially driving the truck. We got brakes. Woo! Brakes work, but there's no doubt about there's a lot of rust on the drum shoes. It's not smoking as much right now, but I guess we're moving and there's wind from the field, so probably can't trust it. It runs pretty nice. Nice suspension. Very nice. Woo! Clutch grabs really high. Yep. Man, it's weird sitting down here. This truck steers so easy for being manual steering. There we go. Just a nice little turnaround. Oil pressure right in the center of the gauge. You know, it's a 4th gauge, so it's pretty much just says low or high. You know what you got. You got oil pressure or you don't. But man, is she smoky, boy. She's a smoker. If he's smoking, your boy's choking. Oh! This thing is talking. I just did a little burnout. Let's see, is that neutral? That's neutral. Woo! If he's smoking, and I'm choking. I would say that was a pretty okay success for our first start, our first drive. One thing, as you all know, the drive shaft of this thing is absolutely bent into a banana right now. And honestly, I couldn't feel it at all driving down here, which is kind of crazy, but we still got to get it fixed. It's not like I'm just going to send this thing 75 on the highway and that thing's going to fly out of there and destroy both rear end and transmission. But another thing, suspension, really nice. Brakes, hopefully they're gonna bend in a little bit. We got a rock solid hard pedal, but it just kind of takes a lot of effort to break it. I know it's a manual truck, but I'm pretty sure it's because there's so much like surface rust probably still in the drums and shoes that we're gonna have to wear them in a little bit, and maybe we're also gonna have to adjust them a little bit. But we got a solid pedal. I mean, we're rock hard, very nice. Definitely the smoke, because we're looking at the engine rebuilding stuff right here. Okay, you know what I mean? It's smoking quite a lot. Another thing, a lot of hissing coming from water connections. There's so many water connections in this thing because we got to the heater coil, a heater adjuster over there. You can see that thing is leaking right there. We got to get a different hose clamp or something on there. And then we got this hose right here, which I actually already took off and on because I'm not even sure, don't remember right now. Oh yeah, it's remove the AC compressor because there's an intake ball right down here. And this thing is leaking and hissing. And then also bypass tube down here to the water pump, hissing and leaking as well. And then I'm not actually sure if this thermostat housing right here is also leaking and hissing. So, I mean, we got a few leaks, you know. Carburetor, really nice, works really good. If not more cylinders. Surprisingly, I only think it's like one cylinder leaking, which is crazy for an FE, because usually all 8 are just singing out there, you know, just valve clattering it sounds. But other than that, man, that was pretty good. I just realized something. This thing have a limited slip, posse traction, sure grip, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what it's called. Safety track? Is that what it's called? No, that's Pontiac. This thing spins both wheels. Let me back her up. Both wheels. And on that note, I want to say thank you guys for watching this episode, and don't forget to leave a like and subscribe down below, and don't forget to put on post notifications while you're pressing subscribe on this channel, because it helps out the channels way more than you guys think, because YouTube is kind of not pushing content unless you are post notified and stuff like that. It's a weird way how it works, but just put on notifications. Why not? I mean, you want to see a new video anyway, right? I'm pretty sure you do.